Today we'll be taking a look at the LASAL Machine Manager. Next up, we will look at Multimaster or Multi-Byte variable transfer between stations. Right, so to achieve this, we do this in the exact same way as we do 4-byte values, and I will quickly show you how to do that. So closing down our two projects and going offline, we now have still our same example where we have our process station and our HMI station. Our process station is currently listed as a host station because it has some data that it's hosting, and our HMI station is a consumer station because it's consuming that data. Right, so following in this trend, we'll again create some multi-byte data on our process station and we'll transfer that to our HMI station. So to do that, we'll open up our process class project. And now we want to transfer some multi-byte data. Now multi-byte data can be represented in many ways inside class, but the two ways that is supported for transfer is either using a class called Merker-EX, which is basically just some memory that you can write values into, or the string class. For our example, let's use the string class. Alright, so to do that, we need to add the string class to our project. Now the string class is found inside the tools library. So I'll go to the library tree view, I'll right click my process name, I'll select the tools library. Once that's loaded, I will find the string class inside the tools library. This can be achieved by simply clicking on the tools library, pressing Ctrl-Shift-T, right? And then typing in find the string class and match whole word only. Right, so that will find the class called string inside this tree view, right, and there we find it, nice and easy and quick. We can then right click and copy this class into our project, and just overview quickly, everything looks fine. We see that the string class depends on Merker-EX string internal, etc., and there's no clashes, right, so that's good, and we can select OK. Going back to our class tree view, showing all the classes that are in our project currently, we can now open the Sigmatek tab, System, Memory, and we'll find our string class, right? We can drag this into our network, and we now have an instance of the string class, right? So you see that the string class here is automatically set to be accessible by other CPUs on the network or other stations on the network. So that's all we have to do on this side of the communication. So we'll download that to LAS, just make sure it runs. We can confirm that it's in run RAM and that the PLC equals the PC, and that's it, right? So we can now minimize that and turn our attention again to Machine Manager. And we see that in Machine Manager, if we select our process station, the string1.data, so the instance name dot the data server, is listed as a string data type as a host, right? So we can drag this over to our consumer, right? So again, drag it there or drag it there, right? And now what will happen is the Machine Manager will open class in the background, import the tools library, and then import the string class into that library or into that project, right? So I'll show you that in a small bit, but here you can see that now both my world server and string1.data is being transferred between these two stations. Okay, so opening our project there, it's HMI class. We'll find that inside our classes we now have Sigmatek system, memory, string internal, which is what we need to be able to access that string value. So that is what I meant when I said that Machine Manager imported the tools library and imported the class from the tools library into our project without us having to do it. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to place our Multimaster string value the same way we did with our double integer value. I'll right click it and auto size again, right? And now we need to read that value somehow. So to do that, I'm simply going to use the same demo class, right? And I'm going to create a new client. Now the client that I create, so right click there, new client, is an object channel. So I'll say co string right? And I need to define the type as being an object channel. And then the class that it's connected to is going to be string internal, right? That then should allow me to access string methods over this channel here. Right, so now that we have that connected, we need to make some form of event trigger the read. So what we will do is we'll create a new server. So right click on servers, select new server and say read string.